Every warrior has a story, and this one matters. Welcome to the Warrior Roundtable. I'm Tina Marie Medlin, founder of Warrior Braids Ministry. Today, we dive into part 2 of our conversation with Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall. In this segment, we go deeper into faith, resilience, and the lessons forged through unimaginable trials. So pull up a chair, because you're not alone at this table. So I have, as you know, with Warrior Braids Ministry, our symbol, we have a braid, and that for us, it means faith, courage, and community within our ministry. So if you were to pick 3 words to braid your journey together, what would it be?
Well, I think I would start off. I think saying honesty. Like I think honesty is absolutely essential. I think honesty is the ability to be open about when you are not doing well, and it's the ability to just be totally truthful about your own situation. And I made a commitment to myself very early on in hospital that when I wasn't having a good day, I would tell the first person who came through the door, no matter who it was. And again, before this, I wouldn't have done that. I would have got through it myself.
Right.
But, there were some pretty dark and difficult and painful days, and I couldn't see a path out, a path ahead. But I told myself on those days, I would tell the first person. And I was amazed at how being honest about how I was feeling lifted the weight off me. And someone would walk in the door and I'd say, first things, this is really tough right now. I'm struggling to see how I'm going to get through this. I'm struggling with the next operation. I'm struggling to see how this will finish. And just that part of honesty, being open with people about how I was feeling, helped so much. So I think honesty is absolutely essential. I think the other important thing is teamwork. We just spoke about it, but teamwork, working along with people, that's the way you get through things. No one can do anything by themselves. You have to do it together. Got to be together when you do this. And so I think I just spoke about teamwork and community. I think that's essential. But the last word I would add to that is hard work. Nothing comes unless you put hard work to it. Nothing at all. And the idea that you want to get better so you will get better, or that maybe it will happen, isn't true.
Right.
You get through something difficult because you set yourself a goal, because you know where you have to go, you have a motive for doing it, and you work hard. You've got to work at it. And I think that that's an essential part of recovery. Working hard. It's about being honest with other people. It's about relying on the people around you and doing your best for them as well. And so I suppose those would be 3 ideas rather than words. If I was going to pick 3 words, I actually wrote this in my second book, Resolute. I actually went with, I was writing about how I got through things. So I'm answering your question twice, I'm afraid, Tina.
You're fine.
I actually had, there's a different idea. It's accept, adapt, embrace.
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
So the first, and whenever I speak to people who are going through difficult times or struggling with their life after they've gone something traumatic, I can speak PTSD events and whatnot. First thing you do is accept it's happened and not go back to what it was before. This is the new me. This is what I'm going through. Accept it. There's no point trying to relive the life you used to have. It's about embracing. It's going to come in a minute. What's ahead? And this is adapt. Look, there are many things I can't do anymore. I can't play with my kids in the same way. I can't go running. I can't do things, but that's fine. I adapted to find other ways of interacting with them. I found other things I could do. So that's the adapting part. And then embracing. Hey, you know what? There's some things I can't do, but look at these amazing things I can do. Look at the people I'm now able to meet and talk to, and hopefully people I might be able to inspire. And you find real lights of joy and silver linings in things. And so accept, adapt, embrace was sort of my pathway, I think, through coming out of it in a positive way.
Well, you get a double braid for sure. One for each side. No, I think that's fantastic. Especially, I think the last word with adapt. I think that is very difficult for people that are suffering with a chronic illness. I know I've struggled myself with adapting to like a new way, a new approach, especially as I was just talking to someone the other day about we normally as we get older, we tend to, oh, this hurts, that hurts. Oh, I can't do this as well. But when you have a chronic illness, I feel like that gets sped up a bit. And it gets a little frustrating seeing people your own age that are doing this, running this or swimming this or doing, able to do this, that, and the other thing. And you're like, oh, I can't do that anymore. Or you look at old pictures and you're like, oh, I remember when I could do that. But so I think like what you're saying, adapting to the new you, like this ministry would have never
Mm.
happened if I didn't have Crohn's and I didn't have to deal with all the complications that's happened. It's all a part of God's plan. When we don't really understand it, we probably will never understand it until we go home.
Yeah,
So,
but look how many people you've lifted up. Look how many smiles you've created. Look how much goodness you've done. And that's where your focus must be, and just realizing how much good you've done. I also think it's difficult, but important to be able to say you look at someone doing something you used to do, the ability to be able to will them on and congratulate them
yes.
rather than feeling bad about it, where you turn a corner, like, you know what? Go for it. Well done, you. Like, yeah, I can't do it anymore, but
Yeah,
I'm so proud and pleased that you can. Instead of hiding away from it, it's about saying, you know what? I'm going to celebrate you doing it. Doesn't matter if I can't do it. You go
right.
for it. I'm so happy you're doing it and it's making you happy, and that makes me happy. So,
Exactly. You have to have that attitude, or I mean, that's a part of the survival, I think,
mm,
in living with, what we have had happen. So in with having, a chronic illness or any other sort of adversity that you may not be able to see, there's a lot of people that feel like they're overlooked. I mean, a lot of times when you physically can see something's wrong with not something's wrong, but, they have an adversity, it's a lot easier to have compassion or some empathy and sympathy for people. But when you don't see it, when they look completely normal per se, how would you what sort of advice would you give them if they feel that they are unseen or overlooked?
well,
How would you encourage them?
I'd say first of all, it comes back to what I said earlier. It's about honesty. It's about being honest and telling people about the situation you're in. Uh, because again, letting people know without going too far, because it's funny because you want to let people know your situation, but nor do you want to talk about nothing but your situation. It's always finding a
Right.
balance between that. Um, I suppose finding a routine, finding the things that like you, finding the one person that you can speak to, finding it, make sure you've got one good friend or someone you can pick up the phone and talk to. That starts to build. So it's taking that first step. It's about realizing, look, everyone, whether you've got something to hide or not everyone cares about you. Not everyone's going to be there to help you, but there will be a few people who do. And I think focus on them, be honest with them and talk to them. And again, saying things openly and honestly really helps. I also do think that I think the internet does provide with a couple of great communities or chats or even warrior braids. These are groups of people that you can reach out to who have gone through what you've gone through. What a great um, sort of set of programs you can find that will help you. So, you know, find people who have gone through something similar. They will know how to talk to you. Be open and honest with the people who you do know and who you can trust. Um, I think those things really are essential. I also think, you know, if you really are struggling, and I've spoken to some people who are incredibly lonely,
Mm-hmm.
um, and how do you get through that? It's not just overlooked; it's lonely. Something as simple as finding a hobby that you really like and finding other
Yeah.
people who enjoy that hobby. Gardening or collecting stamps or whatever it is. Those are the great things to build off. And there are groups of people who enjoy everything. And you can
Right.
find those people who enjoy the same thing as you, and that's something to build off. And that really helps people who are lonely find other people who are interested in the same things that you're interested in, your hobbies. And that's always been really powerful too. So there are ways of reaching out. There are people who will care. And again, it comes back to hard work. It might require a bit of work for you to go look it up, to send an email, to send a message. That's fine. Don't be upset if you don't hear back from them, but someone will reach back to you.
Right.
I get emails from people all the time, and I always think the least I can do is write back and say hi. So it does require work. Don't just sit there and think no one is going to come. Someone might come and speak to you. No, take that step out of the door or onto the internet if you want and send some messages out and say, hey, I've been struggling with this, or I'm interested in gardening, or I'm interested in cooking, whatever it is. Be proactive, And you will find people who care and will be a community and will be around you. And then it can grow and grow and grow. But you take the first step often.
Well, and I think too, following up with that, if you do find a hobby or you do find something you can do, it does get you out of your own head of the struggles that you're having. You have the opportunity to kind of forget about it for a while. It's
Mhm.
still there, but you're able to enjoy life. That's what God wants us to do when we're here is, serve him and live,
Mm.
not just,
Oh, definitely. The worst thing is just to sometimes, and we all do it, believe me,
oh yeah,
you end up just at home and you just get inward bound. It's just you thinking about you. And boy, sometimes you need to break that. For me, it's get up, walk out, take my dog for a walk or whatever I got to do, or just take your mind off it. Routine really helps too. So,
exactly.
and it comes back to being a warrior too. Like we all have those moments, but it's not about not feeling them because we all feel them. It's just
Right.
about knowing back of your head that you will get through to the other side. Like, you'll find a way, you'll be proactive and the clouds will clear. And it's just about knowing that confidence. It might not be today, it might not even be a week. You might have
Right.
a week, 10 days, 2 weeks bad. It's fine. But that it's not always going to be like that. Life is ups and life is downs.
That's right.
You
You're
realize
exactly
that,
right.
you know that there's good coming. You just got to wait for it, be patient for it, and be proactive to go find it as well.
True. That is true. So when you processed and adapted to like your new life, and how did it reshape how you saw yourself? Because I know in Saved at the beginning, you talked a lot about, um, I guess, life prior to the incident, and when I was reading through it, I was giggling because we had met prior to that and had conversation, and I was reading it, I'm like, well, look at him. He just went for it. I mean, it was just like amazing. Not that you don't now, but I guess it was your younger self type thing.
Yeah, but like, it's a perfect example of change. I had the greatest job in the world. I was a journalist. I was a war correspondent, and I said, great. You see some terrible things, but I got to travel the world. I got to meet fascinating people. I got to see. I had a front row seat in history, and I
Mm,
found that to be the most amazing thing. And I got to travel all the time, and I was moving, and basically suddenly overnight that stopped,
right,
um, and I was unable to do all those things. But then I just flipped it, and I, you know, did have to create the new me, the new identity. And you know what? It's just as easy to meet incredible people. You and I talking remotely, and I can get the same interest from talking to you and sharing those ideas with you as I did from when I was across the world. Wading through rivers or living in caves or fighting with rebels and all those sort of things. You just look for enjoy something enjoyment elsewhere, something else that really motivates you. And I also think you got two choices. One is and we said this already, to try and relive the life you used to have, but that
mm,
is the worst thing. The other is to realize that you are someone different and find the positives there. And physically, for me, that meant I wear shorts. It sounds like a small thing, but early on I had two decisions. I could wear pants
mm,
and I could hide my legs, my prosthetics. And I felt I never want to feel that I don't have prosthetics or that I don't have
right,
it felt important to me to just constantly show people this is the new me.
right.
This is it, you know, and this is who I am. And it was embracing the new me that I felt was so important.
Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our conversation with Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall. This has been such a powerful and meaningful discussion. Be sure to join us next week for part 3, the final episode of our 3-part series with Benjamin Hall. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, or at warriorbraidsministry.org. Until then, keep fighting, keep faithful, and keep being a warrior.